Good morning, good morning. It's the Last Minute Laura show. Good morning, good morning. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Good morning. Welcome back to the Last Minute Laura morning show. If you're new, I'm Laura. This is the Last Minute Laura morning show. We get together Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 a.m. until around 10 a.m. Eastern. We hang out, we chat, we talk about plants and animals and crafts and crochet and sewing and my wedding coming up and preserving and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you're into any of the cottagecore vibes, this is a good spot for you because it's a good conversation space. And if you are new, I hope you'll take a second and like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not new, then I still hope you'll take a minute to like the video. And I would assume that you are already subscribed to the channel. So anywho, welcome. Come on in, grab a tea, take a seat, you know, get cozy. We're going to be here for a while. So if you don't have anything to drink or eat, go ahead and get something. We've got time. We'll wait for you. I've got my red rose tea Alex just made for me and brought it over. And I also have a piece of toast with butter because I've literally been running around singing. I don't know why I'm yawning now. Good morning, Frida. Good morning, Candace. Good morning, Melanie. Nice to see you this morning. Hope you're having a good morning so far. I'm having a good morning so far. Alex stayed up late, so he let the chickens out early without, like, before they started making noise, so I got to sleep a little bit longer. And, what else happened this morning? That's it. I showered. That was good. That's important to do fairly regularly, especially after a full weekend of like hard working. Our garden is huge now. There's a lot in the garden, and there's more than I can handle in terms of the weeds right now, which I'm not getting upset about or anything. Good morning, Mary. I'm not upset about the fact that there's weeds. Good morning, Dina. I just need to, I need an overcast, like almost rainy day, or like I need a rainy day so I can go out there and pull them. Your dehydrator looks just like mine. Oh, cool. Yes, well, my dehydrator is full of basil and I want to pack it up because I harvested all of the lettuce leaf basil yesterday. Hey there, Lebo. So I harvested all the lettuce leaf basil yesterday. I also have chamomile that needs to get put away. It's dry now. I picked it a few days ago. And I just wanted to sort of start making organized plans with my preserved things. I hate wearing mascara because when I yawn, my eyes fill up with like tears, and mascara is not conducive to having tears. Hey there, Maddie. Good morning. Did I miss anyone? Louisa's here too. Good morning, Louisa. So, let me get started this morning with my basil while we just chat, because that's like on my docket of things. I haven't decided what jar I want to use because I know I'm going to like fill it up. I'm thinking this is a good jar for basil. That's how much I want to dry this summer, is like this much. I want it to last all the way till next year. Do you think that's too big of a jar? Like, should I do two smaller jars that equal this much volume, or is it okay to do it in this much of a jar? You know, the struggles. I think I'm just going to put it in this jar and then transfer it later if there's a problem. Oh, well, thanks, Maddie. Let your sister know I say thank you. Because my hair is growing and it's starting to turn into like a hair style again. So these are fully dry now. You can see. Ooh, maybe I can put them in as full leaves. That might be even cooler. Wouldn't that be cool? And you're like witchcraft herb apothecary. Oh, Alex and I went berry picking yesterday, by the way. We went looking for wild black raspberries, and it was a bit of a bust. I mean, we had a good time, but we only got about a handful of berries. And we walked the whole length of the forest along our property, and we walked like in several meters. I don't know how far we got into the forest, but far enough that we should have seen berries if they were there. The canes were all there, the plants, but there were no ripe berries yet. So a little early still, unfortunately. Hello to those lurking, Dina. Yes, hello anyone who is lurking. Good morning. Also, if you're just coming in, don't forget to like the video as you come in. I guess I could find a better way to do this so I can face forward. Maybe I can put this in my lap. It smells really good. I can tell you that. This is the lettuce leaf basil that I've been growing. I planted hundreds of them, and there are probably there's probably 100 plants around our yard of this lettuce leaf basil. I don't know if there's more than 100. I think there's 100 though. So we're gonna have a lot of basil basically. Also, our first red tomato is gonna get picked today. We've got our first ripe tomato. It's just a cherry tomato on there, but I mean, I'm still excited. It means tomato season is almost here. Ooh, you're in France now. That's cool, Maddie. Permanently, or are you just there for a vacation or something? Oh, for summer. That's cool. Hey there, Lynn. Good morning. Been lurking for a few lives. Love just listening to your talks while doing stuff at home. That's awesome, Lynn. That's exactly what it is. That's what this is. You work on something that you do. If you want to chat in the chat, awesome. If you want to just lurk, that's cool too. But totally, it's just supposed to be a chill vibe so we can hang out together. We can snack, we can chat, or we can just hang out. You know, sometimes it's nice to just like share air with one of your friends, you know? Like when you go over to a friend's house, you don't necessarily need to talk. You could just sit there and crochet together. That's kind of the vibe I'm hoping, is that it's kind of like a chill hangout sesh. And Frida, I'm sending out emails to find out more about my old recorder. I found a store in Sweden that actually specializes in recorders. That's interesting. That's really cool. A specialty store. Apparently in my town, there is a specialty store for typewriters. I hung out with my friend and I was making fun of Alex for buying a typewriter. And she said, I have 2 typewriters. And I was like, yep, she's got 2. And her mom has one. And the one her mom has is like a vintage 1950s one. Anyway, I was making fun of Alex because he got a typewriter that doesn't have ink. So it's literally just a very heavy paperweight. And I was just basically saying like, why would you buy a tool that isn't even gonna work because it's not supposed to because it's old now? And she was like, I love my typewriter. I like having it on display, and I typed letters at one point. And I was like, after the day that you typed letters on them, did you ever use it again? And she was like, that's not the point. Anyway, so basically I've found a kindred spirit in this friend. This friend of mine, we've been friends now, I don't know, since before the pandemic. Was that Alex audibly gasping? Yes, it was. Every time I learn more about my friend, I find that there is more and more that we have in common. Obviously, like, if you try, you can find things in common with everybody, right? But this person, this beautiful, beautiful soul, met me at a very weird time in my life. My mental health was all over the place. I was in therapy. I was like having a hard time. I was like really in the throes of depression, and I felt very alone and isolated. So I signed up to a dating app called Bumble, and I wasn't looking to date. Obviously, I'm engaged and I'm getting married in a couple of months. But I went onto the app with the intention of finding a friend, because they do have a section in this dating app where you can say, like, I'm looking for a friend. So I ended up meeting 2 people on this dating app, and I met them in public places in daylight, out at a coffee shop, and both of them ended up being, like, long-term friends. Both of them are coming to my wedding. Both of them are, like, close friends to me now. And the weird thing is, both of them fit completely different parts of my personality really beautifully. Like, the one that I hung out with this weekend, she's just a beautiful, like, I don't know how to call her anything else but a kindred spirit. Like, when I saw her last, she gave me these 2 embroidery patches and said, they made me think of you. I like them, and I thought you'd like them. Like, she knows what I would like, and she, like, when I went over there, I brought over mulberry sorbet, and I brought over rose jam for her, and I brought over a bouquet. Oh, and I made chocolate muffins. Because I want, you know what I mean? Like, I want to give things because I don't know how to explain how she makes my heart feel, because I don't know how to make it not a romantic thing, because it's not a romantic thing, but I have a lot of feelings for our friendship, but I don't know how do you exclaim platonic love enthusiastically. And for me, it's to give food. That's how if I want to show you that I love you in the best of my capacity, I'm gonna give you food. That's how I show my love. So, brought food. But anyway, this person, while I was at her place, she was explaining to me, like, something about, we were talking about taxidermy. It probably were talking about CJ's skull. And then she said, oh, I went to a store in Toronto that specializes in taxidermy for people like us, like people who are just a little eccentric and just want something a little different. And she came out of her house, because we were at her house in the yard having a little picnic. Sorry, I dropped basil in my tea. And she came out of her house with a fox skull, a crow leg, and then a newt in a glass jar. And I was just like, I love you. We are the same. We have a lot in common. And I felt very much like I met her not knowing this about her. Like, I met her on a dating app, right? So, like, obviously you don't put, I really like dead things. You don't usually put that in your first thing, because a lot of people think that's weird. So I didn't know that about her when initiating our friendship. And then it turned into, we have a lot of weird things in common. I love that. So anyway, that happened on the weekend, and that was a lot of fun. And I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, well, now she also has something in common with Alex, because she likes typewriters, so that's fun. I got eggs. Now I feel so loved then. Well, Candace, now I have something by my front door with my jams in them. So next time you come, I'll be prepared. When I'm not prepared, I don't do anything properly. But when I'm prepared, I'm ready. So I'm ready. Good morning, Sid. My best friend just moved away, so I kind of want to make a Bumble friend account. You should, Melanie. Honestly, like, you know what's great about adults looking for friends? You're not going to screw around. When you're an adult, you can go and meet someone and be like, we didn't really click. And they'll be like, they're looking for a friend too, right? So, like, it's not like you're meeting someone and having to be like, do you want to be friends? Like, they want to be friends. They're looking for friends too. And being an adult, finding friends, like, she works from home and so do I. It's hard to make friends when you work at home. That's all. One of my Czech black peppers has a bloom on it, and it's more gorgeous. It's the most gorgeous shade of purple. That's awesome, Sid. We picked our two first peppers off of our plant day before yesterday. We got 2 of the Mom's Tasty Snack Peppers. They weren't the right kind. I grew the wrong shape. I wanted the little short ones that are like they look like a jalapeno, except for they're not a jalapeno. They're sweet peppers, like orange and red and green. But they're about the size and shape, a little bit bigger and chubbier looking, but about the size and shape of a jalapeno. This one was much more like a long, scary chili pepper, but it wasn't hot. So it was threatening looking, but not hot. When a pepper's pointy, I don't trust it. You know, I feel like if it has a pointy end, that's a threat to me. Lynn, yes, oh, Swedish. I didn't know dating sites had that section for just friends. Well, Bumble does. I don't know about every dating site. To be honest with you, I've only gone on Plenty of Fish, and that was when I was in university, and I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. And then that was when I was in university leading up to when I met Alex. I dated like 3 people off of that website or app. I don't know if it was an app at the time. It was a website at the time? Wow. I logged on to a website to get a date instead of using my phone. Anyway, so I don't know about actual dating sites, but Bumble, I know Bumble has that, because Alex and I were both, like, we were together and sitting, and I was like, you can do friends on here, so I signed up, and obviously it wasn't like a secret thing because I'm not signing up to a dating app or anything. There's still a piece of basil in here. Alex, hi. Hi, Alex. Louisa, yes, I like it. I've been having it for breakfast without fail for 2 months now. Their regular shakes have too much sweetener, so I get their black edition. Oh, is it a Swedish thing? Josie, hey there, Josie. Hey, pretty eyes. You look great. Thank you. I'm clean. I showered this morning. I wasn't even gonna, and then I did. What's summer like in Canada? Hot. It's hot here in the summer. We've got a heat warning today, and we didn't water the garden last night, so probably a bunch of plants will be unhappy by the end of the day. Just be smart. All the dating site precautions apply to friend meeting too. Indeed. Indeed they do. That's why I said I met in a public place during the daytime at a coffee shop. If I ever, I'm never meeting a stranger in a sketchy way because I'm highly anxious. So, that's a good chunk of basil though. For our first harvest, obviously this is kind of a scam. This is not how much basil there really is because I didn't crush any of it up. But prior to being crushed, that looks pretty good. Organic, locally grown. Where's the lid? I can't stop singing this Doja Cat song that's like stuck in my head, and she's very catchy. I like a lot of her music because I just want to dance and be slutty. Like, I'm not, obviously, like, it's not my lifestyle to go party and find men, but like, when I listen to Doja Cat, I'm like, I could do that. I could party and find men. Right, Alex? Doja Cat makes you want to go to the bar and pick somebody up. Not actually, though. Quiches and basil are super good. I love quiche and I love basil, so I imagine you're right. Kiss Me More? No, it's called Need to Know, and it's fun. It's fun. Good. Remind people that strangers are strangers. Yes, stranger danger. Although most people are good people, but still, if you're meeting someone you've never met before in any capacity, daylight, public place, busy. Those are the things you need. Coffee shop during the day. Hey Laura, do you have a microwave? I do not. I too have a dehydrator, but prefer microwave to dry herbs and flowers. It's much faster, uses less electricity, and retains the bright green color. So that's interesting, but I don't have a microwave anymore. When Alex and I moved into this house, our microwave didn't make it here. I don't know where it is because we had a microwave, but it's not here. It doesn't live in this house, so... Oh, and tell someone what you're doing and where. Yes, even though my sister lives in Ottawa, my older sister, anytime when we were dating, not each other, obviously, that I didn't need to explain that. You already understood that. Anytime we were dating, we would send each other a location and like a description, basic description of the person, name, that sort of stuff. Just in case. Like, I don't need to be unsafe. Also, don't forget to like the video as you're coming in, friends. Thank you, Maddie. Everyone liked the video. She deserves it. Thank you. So the other thing I harvested for the first time yesterday, first time this year, Calendula. Not a lot yet. I don't know what part I'm supposed to save. Is it the whole blossom or just the orange flowers or what? I don't know what part has the like medicinal qualities to it, but look at my calendula. I have a bunch of different, ooh, almost fell. I have a bunch of different varieties. So they came in like doubles and singles and orange and yellow. And they're really pretty. And they don't have a smell that makes me think that they're like hella medicinal. Like, you know, a marigold, you smell it and you're like, this has to have some science involved. This just smells like plant. Like unexciting flower. But calendula is supposed to be magical though, isn't it? I thought calendula was magical. Anyway, I also spent a really good chunk of time yesterday sewing my wedding dress. As you can see behind me, there is a large pile of floral and white fabric, and a wedding dress is now currently in the works. Lynn, are you in the Discord? Yes, Discord is how you, what am I trying to say? Discord, also, oh, hi Kat, I didn't even say hi. Oh, that's not the track I thought, but it's a hot one. Oh, yeah, it's a hot one. I think you're supposed to dry the flowers and then add them to tea. Calendula is in tea? I thought calendula was for skin stuff. If I don't have a dryer, I can just dry the basil hanging in the air, or can I dry it in the oven? So the oven is too hot, Lynn. No matter what you do with the oven, you're going to end up with brown basil if you do that. You're better off if you have a dry spot, like somewhere dry, like a closet that isn't bright, like cool dark place essentially, then yes, you can make a little bouquet of the stems. Just strip the stems. Like if you got a basil, imagine this is basil and there's like a bunch of leaves, strip the stems and then bunch them all by the stem and just have like a bunch of basil on the top so that you're tying stems together and not having leaves get shoved into the tied area. Because then you could have it rot. So yeah, totally. My heavens, the live stream. Indeed, Oracle. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. It can also rot. Yes, if you have a microwave, try it. Drying in the sun, it will turn black. It can turn black if you dry it in the sun, but if you dry it like in a cool, dark place hanging upside down, you'll be fine. Basil takes a couple of weeks to fully dry because the leaves hold a lot of water. Good thing I used a dehydrator. But yes, it definitely uses more electricity. I just wanted it all done in one day because I didn't want to spread it out in my craft room because I had my chamomile spread out on a table in my craft room. Oh yes, for those of you that haven't been here for a minute, I have a craft room now with a table and like my ironing board and all my craft supplies. It's very nice. I crocheted my mom a lunch bag for work, and now her colleague wants a bag, maybe a business. Oracle, that's pretty cool. The flower is widely used as a medicinal plant whose antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties make it a strong ingredient for healing. I don't understand what I'm gonna do with it though. I knew that stuff, but what does that mean? Do I have to dry just the petals or the whole blossom? What temp do you do your basil on? My dehydrator is very high tech. It has 2 settings, on and off. So I dried it on the on setting for about 6 hours, and then I left it off overnight. And it's crunchy and crumply, and still green, so that's good. In addition to using whole petals, calendula flowers can be ground into powder or made into oils, creams, and ointments. So says Google. Candace, can you just use the oven lamp and leave the door slightly ajar? Yes, Frida, you totally could. Some people do that. I'm trying to read. Sorry, I got put behind there in my head. Anyway, I have to figure out what to do with these calendula. I think I'm going to dehydrate them to start and just like collect the dehydrated flowers through the summer and then deal with them later. But I don't know if I should remove the green part. That's the only thing I have to figure out before I dehydrate them. In addition, I also have all of these flowers that I need to dry. These won't be going into the dehydrator. They'll just sit out in outside on a piece of fabric for like a day or 2, and then they'll come inside to dry the rest of the way. I just picked off all of the flowers that like needed to be deadheaded. A lot of zinnias were like at the end of their like bloom, so I removed it. Removed all the dying zinnias and all of the dying. Look, I have a white zinnia. I don't know why, but a white zinnia came out of our packet. I don't know why I'm not a fan of a white zinnia. It's pretty, but I don't know why I'm like, why is it taking up space in my garden? The begonia, though, is putting out new flowers every single day, and they're the prettiest pink. I said to Alex, on the wedding day, we should just pick these and stab a pin through them. There you go. Now we've got our what are these things called? Corsage? No, the boutonniere. For boutonnieres, I'll just pin a fresh flower on everybody. But they're so pretty, and I just love the pretty pink color. Look. It's so fancy. These are almost entirely water, though. When they dry, there's almost nothing left. And then our marigolds are so pretty. I'm very happy with all the different kinds of marigolds we planted because some of them I did from seed, some of them I got from my mom, some of them I got from a nursery. It's just like lots of different color varieties of the same type of flower, and I'm like really happy with it. Let me just show you a few of them. Gotta know what it's like. I really got no type. Yeah. Oh. It's in my head. I can't stop. Baby, I need to know. Ooh. Okay, ready? These are just the marigolds. Aren't they nice? And they're all throughout the yard, front and back. I planted a lot of marigolds, so pretty good. Do you save seeds, Laura? Well, this year I'm going to. It's my first year. If you let them die and dry out, you will get thousands of seeds. Yes, but Kat, it's only the beginning of summer here, so I don't need to save seeds yet. Because I have all summer, and I want the plants to keep producing blossoms. So if I let them go to seed, the plant is going to be like, well, I'm all finished. Don't need to make that many flowers because I've already managed to replace myself. Whereas if I remove the flowers before they go to seed, the plant will be like, need to make more flowers, need to make seeds. So yes, I am going to save seeds, but probably not until like late August. That's my plan. Hey there, beauty. Good morning. Mayo, working on a crocheted sweater, but I also have a blanket and a dog sweater I have to work on. Cool. Sid, I love say so in streets. Oh, streets. My calendula I have this year from seeds I saved a few years ago. These calendula, I have about half of them came from seeds I bought, and the other half came from seeds from my mom. I planted a lot of my mom's seeds from last year, so in like September, she was clearing out parts of the garden, and I went and collected seeds with her. She showed me what plants were what, and I didn't remember, but it turned out a bunch of them were calendula because after, like now they are blooming calendula. So I do have calendula from my mom, but I also have calendula from seeds from the seed store, the plant store. I heard Arnica has a good calendula cream. Oh, excuse me, Arnicare. Hot dogs or hamburgers and french fries? Ooh. A hot dog, but like on a campfire. A campfire hot dog. Or Kalimina, I don't want to eat patch. I'm in a eating very simply patch. Like eating fried vegetables from the garden and toast with butter. It's probably not enough, but like nutrient wise, but it tastes good. I would kill for a hot dog. I'm making sausages tonight. Italian sausages. I might do pierogies too, because we have sour cream, pierogies, sausages, and lots of veggies. I've got Brussels sprouts. Those kind of all go together to me. So that might be tonight's dinner. I'm also planning on learning to sew as well this month because we obviously do stuff related to Halloween at our school, so I'm doing something for a friend for that. That's cool. That's exciting. I'm sewing right now. Do you want to see what I sewed yesterday? Because it was pretty exciting. Oh, that's not it. That also doesn't need to be on. I got a couple new tricks for you. If you just stand and flexible. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I sewed an underskirt. I'm figuring out my pleat situation now. Because I have to put a few pleats in here. This is not going to be visible over top. It's all cut on the bias. So it's going to have this beautiful drape to it. But this is the underskirt. Sorry, the volume's probably not great. This is the underskirt for my wedding dress. So I'm going to be walking around. Oh, hello. I'm just a princess. Basically, I am going to be a whimsical woodland fairy, and this is the vibe. This is the woodland fairy vibe. I added a train. What I actually did was I pulled apart the dress, the one that I bought, and I traced all of the pattern pieces and sewed them back together, but with a fabric that I like. So I'm pretty pumped. Let me just show you. Obviously my zipper is not in yet, so it's very large still. So it's gonna be about that height. It'll be like, no, it'll be like that height. Hold on. See? Pretty excited about it. Just saying. Pretty excited. I also purchased some lace, some bridal lace, and I was just testing some different options for how I'm gonna like reduce the size. So I have like a waistband that's about the waistband of my, about the measurement of my waist, and I was just pleading to test. This is just for test. But and it's all scalloped at the edge, which is so convenient. No hem required. Scalloped edge. Love that. So this is the vibe. I know it looks like a curtain, but I promise it was like from the bridal lace section. It's definitely not a curtain. And then look at the middle layer. This is like the most exciting part. When my sister and I saw this while we were fabric shopping, we were like, oh, I found, this is it. This is the wedding dress. So here is the middle section for the skirt. See? Okay, so my little sister and I went fabric shopping, right? It's going to be an epic dress, Laura. I sure hope so. I mean, I have epic ideas in my head. What if it turns out awful? We'll die. So it better not be. Love that too. You'll look gorgeous. I sure hope so. Thank you. I sure hope so. I love the colors. Me too, Sid. Really. Love the pastels. By the way, do you have any tips on a great homemade iced tea recipe? No, I don't really make iced tea. The only time I ever get iced tea, like intentionally, I get it from David's Tea. And they like boil a tea and then they add ice. So that's... I'm not from the States. We don't have like sweet tea fanciness. We're just like, if it's iced tea, it's like iced. You get like Nestea iced tea. So I would also like tips on how to make iced tea because it's hot now. That'd be great. Side note for my last message, it's 5:40 a.m. Well, good morning. Looking forward to two things today. Summer running at 7, scaring the crud out of my mom if I'm going the speed limit while driving. Well, good for you driving. You'll be such a beautiful bride. Oracle, I love the way that you use emojis. Like you use the smile with the tear and you use the big like watery eyes. I love that. I know what you're doing when I read your emoji. Your emojis with your text gives a good intonation. You know what I mean? Like when you read someone's text and you're like, are they mad at me? I feel like no one gets that vibe from you. If you're mad at them, I feel like you would know, you know? Laura, it's beautiful. Thank you, Dina. I started boiling sugar and then add my tea with some ice. You start boiling sugar. You mean sugar and water? Like you dissolve your sugar in water and boil that and then add tea? You add your tea to sugary water? I make my tea and then add the sugar. I wonder if that changes the flavor. Interesting. I just boil a liter of black tea, cool it, add a liter of cold water. It's good like this, but if you want, you can add sugar and the juice of half a lemon. Oh God, the juice of half a lemon improves everything. Oracle. Indeed. Oh, hi, Rue. Good morning. She literally is getting a callus from holding on for dear life while I'm going the speed limit or turning. To be fair to her, though, like, you were a child in her eyes up until right now. And I would not put a child behind the wheel of a car. So I understand that she's trying to disconnect the fact that you are a baby in her brain to, like, you're becoming a grown-up in the world, you know? So I get it. I feel like when my kid, if I have a kid, drives, I'll be letting Alex do that job. Also, some exciting news that turned out to be weirdly perfect. So, my grandma Patricia, my middle name is Patricia. I was middle named after her. My grandma died when I was like 10. She was artsy, craftsy, sewing. She was a nurse by like training, but as soon as she got married and had kids, she stayed home and was a mom. And she reupholstered like chairs. She sewed all of her clothes. She made all the curtains in my grandpa's house. I say it's grandpa's house now because she passed away a long time ago, but in their house, she you can see her touches everywhere. The art on the walls is her art. The couches are her upholstery. Like, everything is done by my grandma. And she was very talented in all the handmade things. Thank you. Anyway, when she passed away, my grandpa gave me all of her craft stuff, but I was 10, so it was not treated how it would have been treated if I received it now. Much of it was used up for fun, like for craft things. Like, a lot of the embroidery I still have her embroidery floss that I haven't used all of because it didn't mean anything when I was 10, so it didn't get used, whereas now I embroider, so now I understand. But I did manage to save a piece of fabric from her fabric stash. So, like, she's been gone a long time. So for me to save anything and have it not be stained, dirty, or damaged, very good deal. Anyway, it's this piece of fabric. When we were little, my aunt or great aunt, what would I call her? My great cousin? Like, my grandmother's sister's children. So they would be like my mom's cousins, whatever that puts them to me. Like, we just sort of call them aunt and uncle. Like, in our head, they're just sort of at the level of aunt and uncle. But they are technically not aunts or uncles. First cousin once removed? Sure, I'm down for that. Yeah, it would be, right? Because it's a first cousin of my mother, so I am removed from that by one generation. First cousin once removed. Okay, so my first cousin once removed many years ago when I was a little kid, like 6, 5. I was a flower girl for their wedding. My sisters and I were all flower girls for their wedding, and my grandma made all of the dresses and the socks with the lace on top and all the hair accessories and the little baskets we carried. Like, my grandma was extra, I'm telling you. And she made these dresses and saved a piece of the fabric, a meter, nothing major, and it's just quilting cotton. It's nothing fancy, but I knew I had it. And my little sister and I picked out all the fabric for this wedding dress, and I knew I wanted to put a little piece of this fabric I had left over. I wanted to use a little piece of it somehow in the wedding dress because I wanted to, like, incorporate her, because I'm sewing my wedding dress and I probably would have never developed that side of myself as well if I didn't have, like, I can't say if it's because of her, but because of her energy, a lot of people supported my creativity because it reminded them of her too, I think. So that's my interpretation of my life. That's how I see it anyway. But when I came home with my fabric for my dress, let me just grab the skirt again so I can show you how crazy close this is. This skirt won't be visible. Just so you know, this will not be visible. It will be underneath that floral pink fabric. But look at these colors, right? We've got pastel pink, pastel blue. Oh, also, because I'm fancy, I did French seams, you guys. I did, look, finished seam. I French seamed this whole thing together, like some kind of seamstress or something. But anyway, these colors, you can see them. Let me just bunch them up together so you can see all three at the same time, because this is, like, pretty cool what happened. So you can see these beautiful pastels. Look at the fabric that my grandma left behind. We didn't bring this. We went and picked these out because I liked them. And I was like, I want to look like a fairy, a forest fairy. This is the last piece of fabric that my grandmother left behind. The last piece that hasn't been used or thrown out or donated or whatever. Look at the colors. Are you kidding me? They're the same. They're the exact same colors. They're the same colors. How convenient is that? So now I can incorporate it so conveniently into my dress somehow. What I did, where did I put it? Here. What I've been doing is trying to find a way to incorporate it with it looking a little fancier, because it's a quilting cotton, you know what I mean? And my wedding dress is not made of quilter's cotton. So I needed to jazz it up. So I've been testing little strips of the fabric to see what I can do with it. And I figured out what I can do with it. I can do either a hair ribbon or a belt. So I took a strip of the fabric and then I pulled strands that were like warp and weft. Let's just call them warp and weft. I don't know which one's which, but let's call it the warp. I took warp threads and I pulled them out to make a fluffy edge. See? And then I pulled the weft out at the ends to make a little tassel at the end. And then I just sort of trimmed the warp threads to make them kind of angle down. And now I've got this cute little floofy sort of thing, but it makes it feel more, I don't know, lacy or whimsical. Like, it makes it feel more cottagecore. I don't know another way to put it. It made it feel more cottagecore to me. I might even wash it to see if that like fluffs up those pieces a bit more, because I was rubbing it to try and like floof it up. But I thought like either for the little belt, for a little choker, or for a little headband, I can include, a headband might work, and then I can sew the flowers on. Then it'll be a little flower crown. Could do a tie like that to wrap your bouquet with. That's a great idea too, Candace. That's a really good idea. Why do the bouquets have to be wrapped? Because they're always wrapped up, like in a silk ribbon or something. Your grandma reminds me of my great grandma. Maddie, good. I'm glad. And I hope you have lots of good memories with her. I lost my grandma too early. I think that we would have been really close. I do. I think that we would have had a lot in common. And I think that I think she would have made a lot of things with me. But this is how I can include her in my special day. So that's what the plan is at this point, is to somehow include that fabric into the wedding dress. I haven't 100% figured out exactly how yet, but I do know I want to do it. Sorry, I have chamomile here that I'm just gonna put into a jar because it's dry now. And I realized it's just sitting here waiting for me to handle it. You could do all three. True. That's an option. Mary, I could. I don't know if I will. I don't know what I'm gonna do at all. I feel like I have an idea that makes it a little bit more whimsical and includes some like woodland creature vibes, but I haven't figured out exactly how to make it work yet. I'll figure it out eventually. I never met my great grandma, but I heard she loved to crochet and paint. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, these are they dry? No, if I'm asking the question, they're not dry. That's not finished drying yet, so I have to spread that out in my craft room and try again later. I'm thinking of adding things like this into my wedding dress. I don't know how exactly yet, like tucked on the bodice maybe, like around some pieces of lace. I haven't really decided, but I think that'll be a good idea. Pretty much I'm excited about making my dress right now. I don't want to make it today, like right now, but yesterday I was very motivated. I think I have a hard time wearing chokers. If it were me, I'd do the flower crown. Suddenly I'm making vegetable stew. Welcome. I don't know about the choker, but it depends on the style of the dress and if I'm going to wear my pearl necklace. I miss her so much. She was the loving matriarch of our family. My grandma was the matriarch of our family too. Yeah. Screw diabetes. My great-grandma on my stepmom's side would give my stepmom everything she needed to learn to knit. My stepmom told me if I ever got into knitting, she would give it all to me. Oh, that's cool. That's convenient. I know my great-grandma crocheted my first blanket and pretty much everything that wasn't store-bought for me. I didn't see her since 2015 because of my schedule, and then it's 2020 and I'm told that she's going to pass and it hit me hard. That's awful. I'm sorry. Oracle, nothing wrong with making stew. That's true. So our garden right now is straight up poppin'. I'm waiting to cut my zinnias because I have like probably 30 zinnias ready to be cut. And they're all beautiful colors, like all beautiful pinks and purples and oranges. And I want to make bouquets, but my mom hasn't seen my garden yet since like May. So it didn't look like anything when she came here. And I would like for her to see it before I cut all the flowers. And I know she's going to come this week, so I'm waiting until she comes before I cut the flowers because I want to be like, look at what I grew! Whereas if I cut all the flowers, she'll be like, it's beautiful, but she won't see it in its magic. Oh, also, our first bachelor's button opened, which was very exciting to me. And it was pink, a happy little pink bachelor's button. Also, our Cosmos bright lights have started opening, which is a completely different shape than the Cosmo early sensation, which I was finding quite interesting. It's like a completely different looking plant. Me and my sister went on an adventure in the forest. It was fun. Oh, cool, Maddie. Alex and I went on an adventure in the forest yesterday. I want to go either today or tomorrow to pick more mulberries because I've been really enjoying the what did I call it? Sorbet I made over last week sometime I made it. It's very tasty, and although it's very mild, like the berry flavor is very mild, the color is so beautiful, and mixed with sugar, lemon, and mint, it's like a fresh, fancy thing. A musician in our family will learn to crochet or some other craft. Oh, that's nice. That's cute. But yesterday we went on an adventure in the woods to see if we could find black raspberries, wild black raspberries. It was a no-go, unfortunately. Also, mint. What can I use for this? What do you think should go in this jar? It was for juice, and I really like it, and I don't want to throw it out. Obviously, I wouldn't throw it out. I mean recycle. But what function will this serve? It's square. It's pretty. I guess this could hold mint. It could hold chamomile. You made it Thursday because you were talking about it in the voice chat. Oh, there you go. So Thursday, when I was like, I knew I made it pretty recently. Wow, we haven't eaten it all and it's already Monday? Good job, us. I haven't filmed the outro of the vlog yet where I taste test the sorbet. But the rest of it's almost finished. I just need to film that little clip. Does it sound weird to you too? Can you hear the weirdness that the talking into the bottle makes? What am I gonna put in here though? I could put any herb. It's a smaller lid. Not that it matters really, right? Like if it's an herb, I'm gonna use it. Sorry. Have you shown your shawl yet? No, I don't have it here. It's over there. No, I'm not working on it at this exact moment. I haven't started the cast off, although maybe that's a good idea. Because you guys can help me with the cast off because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, also, it's not everyone's style, but I use those kind of bottles to drink tea. We have a tea store that gives you a discount if you bring your own. Like hot tea out of a glass thing? That risky. Cold tea, sure. Hot tea, don't know. Also, the clay is ready. My clay is ready to use and make into stuff. This is clay from my backyard. I filmed part of it for the vlog like 2 weeks ago. And in the next vlog, we're going to be making pots out of it. And bubble tea as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Kombucha. Yes, totally. I'm pretty sure that I started crocheting immediately and just a weekend finished my first project. And now I'm crocheting at least 1 hour daily. Wow, that's probably you're probably learning fast then. Good morning, Rebecca. Nice to see you. Good morning, Sarah. Sorry, just woke up with a big headache. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. Dehydrate a multitude of colorful flower tops and fill the jar just to be a colorful decorative piece. I mean, but I only have so many jars, you know? I have not that many jars currently. And all of the stores near me are out of jars. And I don't appreciate it. Like, my parents traveled to St. Catharines, which is it's not that far. It's like a town a few towns away. And they traveled there to get their jars a couple of weeks ago. So I don't think I'm going to use it as a decoration. I think I want to use it for function, but I don't know what I want to put in it. I could put mint. Mint is... But I won't use it if it's hard to access. Whereas, what's a herb that I will use? Rosemary? I could fill that with rosemary probably over the summer. I'm trying to think of what herbs I'll actually use, but not be discouraged from using because the mouth of the jar is smaller. Or you could do a tea and mix, and it would both look pretty and be useful. Okay, so we could make a tea mix. That's an option too. Get out my tea. Does it fit a teaspoon? Okay, a teaspoon fits inside, so that's good. Chamomile. Do you think the chamomile in here, a full chamomile jar? That would be pretty. A full jar of chamomile would be pretty. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Chamomile's not bad. There is a housefly in here. I have, you know those sticky traps that are for thrips and stuff that you put, like, I think there's one over here somewhere. It's like a yellow butterfly. There's one way back here somewhere too. I stuck them to the back of my computer just so that flies won't be around. There's like house flies in my house right now. Chamomile and or a tea mix blend. A tea mix blend. I do have a lot of tea ingredients. What I do want to do, something I do want to do is collect raspberry leaves, but I don't know what their like function is. Like, what are they useful for? I know that like pregnant women or women trying to go into labor, I don't know. I haven't read far enough, obviously, but I want to know what raspberry leaves do because I have a lot of raspberry plants in my vicinity. Seriously though, this begonia is just so stunning. Is Alex still learning French? Not currently. He's not currently enrolled in anything to learn French, but he knows French now. Also, look at this pretty purple one. So pretty. Rue, I did Among Us Amigurumi for my friends who is addicted to the game similar to me. I've never played it. Is it fun? I'm an old person. Again, when WebMD has nothing on raspberry leaves, right? So weird. So is it really old wives' tale? Like, is there no truth to the fact that it's used in stuff? Like, people use raspberry leaves in tea, right? Like, it's a thing. So, I don't know. Also, I'm pretty sure that this is blue salvia. Not the salvia that's like a drug, the salvia that's just for a flower, but I'm pretty sure that's what this is. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Isn't it pretty? It's usually sticks straight up. It's just that it's wilting. Love that. Love that for you. Yup. Yeah, very weird. Yes, kind of like the game Mafia, I'd say. Haven't played that either. I'm doing it for all the Korean dramas. It gives you anxiety at some moments, and I sometimes find myself screaming while panicking, specifically when I'm locked in with one person. What? Did Among Us, it gives you anxiety at some moments. Oh, you mean while playing? It is salvia? Okay, cool. I thought it was. I feel like my mom grows the blue salvia, and every year I'm like, it's so pretty. And this year, I'm growing it. I'm also loving these, whatever these are called. Anybody know what that is? Rue, they're talking about Among Us. I am like an old person. I don't play games. I'm not a gamer. Not that old people can't be gamers, but I'm not one. I never was though. Like I never did. I played games with friends for fun and like with my siblings for fun, video games, but I never got like into it. Like it never mattered to me. It was like, oh no, I lost. Good thing the game is not real. Like it never mattered to me. It's because, sorry, I have a hair touching my nose. Basically, Laura, you're on a spaceship with other people and you're just doing tasks on the spaceship, except that two people are imposters. I've heard of that. Emogus. Imposters. Sus. I know the words. The objective of the game is to figure out who are the imposters. And the imposters can kill everybody, right? Oh, I'm a gamer. I'm trying to play a bit of the recorder and learning a bit of Korea every day. Oh, I'm a gamer. Yeah, well, again, I'm old the way that I think of old. Not the way it really is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like an old man. Get off my lawn. That's what I mean when I say I'm old. I'm like a ornery old man. Yes, they do kill people. Very good. Good to know. I don't game enough for that to be interesting to me. It's fine that it's not something you're super into, as long as you don't talk down to others for liking games. So you're good, Laura. No, I'm mostly am out of the loop. I know it's the main thing right now. Like the gaming thing is what people are doing. I just never got into it when I was young, so it doesn't matter to me now. But no, Alex plays Diablo 3. Sorry, I have to think of it every time. I always go for the one that Master Chief is in. What's that one called? Not that one, the other one then. There's another one that's like the one where there's the toys that you paint. You know what I mean. Sid, you know the one I'm talking about. The not Minecraft, not it doesn't matter. Regardless, Alex plays Diablo. I don't have any vibe. No ill will toward you gamers. Please enjoy playing your games. I, however, don't have the attention span maybe to sit and like work through a game. I can play like mini games, you know, like in the GameCube games for Pokemon. I can play the mini games, like the lick-a-tongue game where you lick up as much of the sushi as you can, and the orange sushi is worth more, but some of the sushis are poison. I can do that game. I've always been a gamer. As soon as I got my hands on a Game Boy, yes, I'm not old. I had the gray original and Nintendo. Okay, don't be saying Game Boy makes you old, because I'm not ready to accept that. Game Boys were a thing when I was young. Like, they were casual and people had them, so don't be making me feel old for that. Honestly, it's a hard time to be a video game fan. Why? Why is it a hard time? I enjoy them because I liked them as kids, but these days there's some community-wide issues that makes it harder to get into. That's annoying. I'm not in it, so I have no idea. I'm just not in the community at all. I just zone into the game, and then before I know it, it's 6 a.m. and I was awake playing all night. Probably that's not good for me. I liked Nintendo games like Zelda. Ooh, Rue, yes. Okay, I would watch my brother play Zelda. I played it a little bit, but mostly I would just ride around on the horse and like go to the town with the chickens. Hyrule, I think, is the town. So when I played Zelda, I mostly just walked around and like I didn't want to fight any of the bosses, especially not the one that lived in Deku Tree. Yuck. Though they were scary spider monsters, for those of you that are like, what is this girl talking about? I would watch my brother play, though, and I enjoyed doing that when I was growing up. But some decisions that Nintendo makes have been really disappointing. Oh no! Again, not keeping up, so I don't know. Oh, Ola played Diablo. It was hilarious creeping up on him to do jump scares. Well, it's a scary game. I watched Alex like going through it, and I was like, I get it that it's like, it's not real things to be scared of, right? Like you're literally like, it looks like you're in hell. Like it's not fancy, it's like not realistic, but it's still scary. There's like zombie dogs and like skeleton animals. I don't know. Trust me, Laura, it's better that way. Stick with the older single player stuff. Yeah, I feel like that stuff's probably like easier for my brain. It's a game where you can choose to ignore the whole story. If you ever know someone who plays Breath of the Wild, I think you'd love watching it. Oh, you can choose to ignore the whole story. That's nice. You can just explore the world and collect stuff and whatnot. That's more me. That's more me. Oh my god, don't watch any Bloodborne or Dark Souls. I can't even watch gameplay of Silent Hill. I can't watch gameplay of it. It's like I'm not a scary person. Like I'm not a good scary person. Like I'm not a good I don't handle scares well. I don't like it. I don't like the anxiety of leading up to a jump scare. Like I already feel anxiety for no reason. I have no incentive to try and give myself anxiety for the duration of a film. Like I know people come out of it like, wow, that was exhilarating. For me, I was like, wow, now I'm in a mild panic attack for the rest of the night. It's not even like I'm scared of what happened. It's like my body got amped up and now I can't calm it down until I sleep off the anxiety. It's just not functional. It's not a good functioning way to be. So I don't do that. I'm definitely the same. I can't even do horror movies. Yeah, that's a no from me. What I do is I watch Found Flicks, which is a YouTube channel on YouTube, obviously. And it's like a guy, and he summarizes the horror movies as they come out. And he gives a good summary, a good explanation of the conflict, and it's not scary the way that he tells it. So I still get to be up to date on like the content without being like scared. I just don't like feeling scared when I don't need to, because I already feel scared when I don't need to. Like there's a lot of times where my body is like, panic, you are in danger, when I'm totally not. So I don't need to add to that. I don't need to watch things. I like the actual scary instead of the for no reason scary my body does on its own. So I like the scary movies. The scarier, the better. Frida, that's an interesting point. Because, like, when I'm feeling anxious, a good way to make me feel less anxious is to go for, like, a brisk walk so that my heart is beating fast. Because then my brain goes, your heart's only beating fast because you're exercising. As opposed to if I'm sitting still and my heart's beating fast, I'm like, it's anxiety. So I wonder if I haven't watched, the last scary movie I watched was Saw 3. I saw it in theaters in grade 9. That was the last horror movie I watched. Saw 3 in theaters in grade 9. I paid for that date. I was asked out on a date. It doesn't matter. It was a long time ago, but still. I like games with a play with friends option, but Destiny 2 made me really sick of dealing with being forced into fire teams with garbage people. Very well. Maddie, my mom took us to the cinema before COVID, where we were going to watch The Nun, and my sister had a literal panic attack in the theater and had to leave. Maddie, aren't you young? Aren't you like 12 or 13? Maddie, you're young. What are you doing seeing The Nun in theaters? That was a scary movie. I know, because I watched Foundflix and they summarized it, and it was a scary movie. What are you doing? For the rest of the time, she was just hanging out with the waiters. There's waiters at your movie theater? Fancy. Galacta, did you see Breath of the Wild sequel? There's a sequel? I don't watch them when I actually have panic. Okay. So you do it when you're calm. I guess so. You wouldn't want to amp up the panic. Interesting. Pff, not scary. Frida, whatever. Whatever, all right? I actually didn't notice the sequel. Huh. I don't think I can get into gaming because I think it would take over my whole life. It's kind of like I can't get tattoos because I will take over my whole life. I have to wait for tattoos until I'm like well past the time when normal people would start getting tattoos. And then I would just get covered in them if I started now. So I'm instead going to just wait until it's much later in my life, and then I'll get tattoos, and then I can just take my time. If I did it now, I'm sure I would get something I didn't want for the rest of my life, and I'm sure that I would end up with way more tattoos than I thought I would end up with, you know? So it's better for me to just pierce. Piercings, easier. Rainbow Valley scarred me for life. I've not seen Rainbow Valley. I've not seen anything since Saw 3 in theaters in high school. When did Saw 3 come out? A long time ago. That was the last. There's like 15 Saw movies by now, right? Now that I work full time, I gotta ease back in. They're not an easy habit to quit. Oh, you gotta ease back. Super valid. Video games are not an easy habit to quit. Yeah, I imagine, especially if there's a community aspect to it, because then there's like, this is where I go hang out with my friends, you know? And become addicted to hanging out on the internet, because the internet usually is like the worst. So finding a good spot. Oh, but Saw, those are gore. That's no fun. It's supposed to be a psychological scary. I don't know. What's annoying is that my brain, well, everybody probably, this is why they're scary movies. I don't know. I don't like movies where the killer is realistic because then I'm gonna get murdered. And I don't like movies where the monster is a monster, like not like a werewolf, but like a scary demon thing from another realm. I don't like that because I live out in the country surrounded by woods. I actually am currently surrounded by a cornfield, which is awesome. Just awesome. See, at the beginning of the season, it was awesome. Cornfield, beautiful, very cute. Now, all the corn is 5 or 6 feet tall, which makes it feel like our yard, like we have about an acre of land. Usually it feels like we have like 100 acres because our backyard backs onto this huge field that goes for like a kilometer, like a while. But now that the corn has all grown in, it's like cramping my life. And also now the monsters can come right up to the edge of my backyard, as opposed to the forest being, it goes like field and then forest, whereas now it goes forest, corn, yard. And I don't love that because that's where the scary aliens go and that's where the monsters go. And like in reality, that's also where the foxes and the coyotes can hide. Not a threat to me, that's a threat to my chickens, but the foxes can now get way closer to our house before we'll see them. in the beginning of the season, they had to cross a field from the forest, which we would see them because they're dog animals, you know what I mean? But now that the corn is here, it's scary at night. It just is. I live in the country, and there's one light on our whole road, and I have a cornfield behind my house that backs onto another farm, which is, it's at night, it's very dark, basically. Where I live at night, it's very dark. Beautiful when you're looking up at the stars, but if you've watched a scary movie, it's very dark. So, no thank you. Coraline is the one and only scary movie I love. Rue, I agree. Coraline is a scary movie I enjoy, even though I'm scared of it. It was scary. I found it an actual scary movie. And same with Pan's Labyrinth. I found that too scary. I mean, I know that, like, parts of it were nice to watch, but, like, the monster parts were too scary for me. But Coraline is lovely. It's scary. Like, there's a lot of, like, oh, that's a cartoon. Why am I afraid? But I feel like that was a really good movie. And the fact that they did it in, like, claymation, they get extra. Oh, also, for those of you who haven't seen Thunder this morning, here he is. Just right here. He's just snuggled up. Pan's Labyrinth has the scariest monster of all time. Yes, I agree. Eyeballs should not be in other locations. Eyeballs only need to be in one location. My son watched Pan's Labyrinth, and the eyes and hands was so creepy. Very creepy. And you know, the guy who plays that monster plays so many monsters in shoot, what's his name? My brain first said Quentin Tarantino, but that's wrong. It's the other guy, the monster one. Alex, yeah? Do you remember the guy who does all the monsters? He did The Shape of Water and the monster from Pan's Labyrinth. No. I haven't seen some of those movies yet. The monster in Pan's Labyrinth is Satan? Oh, I didn't realize that. Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, there was a... Oh, okay, yeah, right. Yeah. There was an art exhibit in Toronto of all of his monsters, but he often has the same guy do the monster. So the guy who was the monster in Pan's Labyrinth is the same actor who is the monster in The Shape of Water. Not the monster, the merman, or whatever you want to call him. What would you call him? A swamp monster? You know, the fish guy from The Shape of Water. That's the same person that plays the guy. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Pan's Labyrinth monster, scariest of all time. Didn't realize it was Satan. That's a good look for Satan, honestly. The Shape of Water seemed like a love movie to me. Me too, but he was still a monster. Guillermo del Toro still made a monster. You know what I mean? Like, the monster was the same actor. He has been a monster in a lot of movies because, as he said, I'm tall and I don't complain. That's why they keep hiring me, because all of the monsters that he's had to be required tons of effects, like real effects, not special effects. So he would have to be in makeup and outfits and stuff. And he said, I would never complain and I'm tall. That's it. That's his whole, how did you get this far? How many monsters have you been and why do they keep hiring you? Because every time I don't complain about the fact that it takes 3 hours for me to get in my monster outfit. I thought that was pretty cool. So all you gotta do, as Alex and I discovered many years ago, just show up on time and you'll keep getting hired. Show up on time and you'll keep getting hired. What about the Harry Potter? What about Harry Potter? What about it? Scary? No. Harry Potter, I mean, parts of it are, like, startling, but I wouldn't call Harry Potter scary. Unless you, like, think that witchcraft is real and, like, this is, like, a threat. Then maybe it would be scary, but, like, for me, it's just, like, a whimsical fantasy, so nothing there. I have to go. I have summer running in less than an hour, and it takes 15 minutes to get into town. Okay, bye, Galactic. Have a good rest of your day. He's written a few books, too. Really? Guillermo del Toro. Didn't know that. That's what I meant by psychologically scary. Wait until you've seen The Babadook. I won't. I'll never see The Babadook. No, thank you. I won't see any scary movies. My favorite bits of Pan's Labyrinth was the demon bits, the girl. I feel like my favorite part of Pan's Labyrinth They were so scary, though, when she's trying to get back out the window and it grabs her ankle. I don't like it. I don't like that monster. That monster was very scary. The girl's real life was way more trauma for me than the underworld things. Oh, yeah, totally. Every time it would go back to the top, I was like, I don't want to know about your stepdad. He's scary and bad. I don't want to know. Your mom, I don't want to know about your mom. I don't want to know. Yeah, totally. More messages. More messages. Ugh, Pennywise, that's a no. Thank you, no. Pennywise. Oh, that's one of the first horror movies I watched. That's a no. Rebecca, yeah, so scary. But Alex Skarsgård's brother. What? Pennywise the clown in the new It is the brother of Alexander Skarsgård? Really? He's so attractive, though. That's his brother, bummer. I mean, everybody looks different, but, like, he's attractive, and his brother is not my type. Pennywise the clown in the new It is the brother, thank you, is the brother of Alexander Skarsgård. It, the original It, whatever his name is, that's a no from me. I'm going to give it a pass. I'm passing on It. I know there's 4 brothers. He's the good one. Bummer. It's like the Hemsworths. There's like a whole bunch of them. They're all attractive, though. That's nice for them. I wonder who's the attractive one in my family. I hope I'm not the ugly one. Wait, I thought Pennywise was played by a black guy? Really? No. He's a guy that has big eyes like Steve Buscemi. I watched getting his makeup ready and I was like, that guy looks like he could be related to Steve Buscemi. All 4 are actors, good ones, but Alex is the tasty one. He is the tasty one. And he speaks like a million languages. That dude can speak like literally like 7 or 8 languages. I watched an interview, not an interview, it was like an interview compilation. You know, you have nothing else to watch on the internet when you're watching interview compilations. Sid, okay, I was very wrong. It's okay. Sid, I don't know about the original, but the new one. No, the original is the guy, he's a famous actor as well. And when you see his face, you're like, oh yeah, totally. But when you see him as It, you're like, that's a no from me. Why did they have to put claws on a clown? It's already a clown. Why'd you have to add claws? He already has sharp teeth and he's a clown. I feel like you added all the things that I don't want. Gross. Not a fan. Not a fan of clowns. I know that they're just people dressed up, but no thank you. Scary clowns scare me. Let's move on to something not scary. Clowns are scary as is. Agreed. I thought the new one was a black actor, but never mind. Anyway, in happier news or interestinger news, let me think of something that happened. Oh, I got to see my sister this weekend, which was really nice. She came down for a weekend. Skarsgårds are so attractive. Hello. The one that was in True Blood, Alex, I think. The sexy one. Hey there, Dawn. Yes, we were determining Alex is the only sexy one. Who's everyone's favorite Harry Potter character? Honestly, like, I was super interested in the animals. Like, when they showed us a griffin. A griffin? A griffin. Is that what it's called? A griffith? A griffin. My words sound wrong now. The hawk horse. The horse hawk. I liked him. The little horse hawk. I didn't like the spiders. I liked the baby dragon. I was more of a fan of every time that the animals got a minute. I would be like, can you please show, like when Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, when I saw the title, a hippogriff, thank you. When I saw the title, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I was like, I am so ready for us to find out more about the Fantastic Beasts in the Wizarding World. And then I watched the movie and I was like, it's not about Fantastic Beasts and where I can find them. I thought we were going to learn about like where the dragons are from, you know? I thought they were going to bring us to where one of the Weasleys, you know, how the brother lives in Romania training dragons. I thought we would go there and see some dragon training. I thought maybe we could see a hippogriff field full of hippogriffs. You know, there were a lot of Fantastic Beasts, but it's like they were trying to make stuffed animals to sell. That's what I felt from that movie. all of the Fantastic Beasts were all able to be made into a plush toy. You know? Like, they designed it so that they could sew it out of fluffy fabric. There were, like, a lot of fat, cute little things in Fantastic Beasts, and that's fine. But, like, in Harry Potter, there were a lot of cool beasts. Like, the plant that screams, you know what I mean? Like, that's not cute. It was weird and loud and creepy. Why couldn't we get more of that? That's just, I feel like we could have gotten more of that. I feel like the animals in Harry Potter were scarier and creepier and more fantastical than the ones in Fantastic Beasts. I felt like they were trying to. Fred and George are also wonderful, agreed. And mandrake is real medicinal plant. If only it would scream. Hey, wasn't the mandrake also in Pan's Labyrinth? Didn't she put a mandrake root under her mom's bed? Pretty sure that happened. And it was like bathing in milk. 'Cause magic. I'm not a doctor, but still, I'm just saying. I barely survived the fireworks. Asthma. Oh, geez. Yeah, fireworks yesterday were intense, and I forgot that it was the 4th of July, and we are not in the States here, so I was, like, hearing fireworks and being like, what is going on? Canada Day was, like, several days ago, and then I looked at my phone, and the date was the 4th, and that's what makes sense. But yeah, there were a lot of fireworks here yesterday. I agree, Fantastic Beasts should have been like Pokemon, but in the Harry Potter universe. I would have appreciated it if he could have traveled. I know that they needed it to, like, they had like 2 lines of plot going, but I feel like they could have given us at least a little bit more, you know? Laura, I told my friend he was evil for dressing as a clown one year from 3 houses down. Yuck, for Halloween. I'm sorry, AJ. I worked yesterday and skipped the holiday. It's open? Your store's open on 4th of July? Nothing's open here on the 1st of July. I spit tea on the laptop. Don't all letters. What? Also, hi, Jay. They needed to ditch the Grindelwald plot. Yeah, should have just been Newt. Yeah, he's so cute. Give me more Newt. Newt Scamander. Are you kidding me? Newt Salamander. 2 animal names. Newt Scamander. I love Harry Potter for those reasons. I like that. Like Luna Lovejoy, Luna Lovegood, Luna Love. I like her. She was cute. I liked her. If I had to pick a favorite character, I liked her. But maybe the actress did a lot of that, because in the book I didn't care about her very much. Like, she was fine. But in the movie I liked her a lot. In the book, who my favorite characters were? Probably Ron, for like my childhood times. Oh yeah, July 4th is a sale day here. Oh, interesting. Well, it's all closed here on Canada Day, which was cancelled. But not actually, because people are like, you hate Canada then! And it's like, no! There's just a lot of people who are suffering right now, so you don't need to light off fireworks and celebrate the country that caused the suffering. Just take a break, just for a year. No one's saying Canada is cancelled. They're just saying maybe this year, let's just acknowledge the massacre instead of being like, Canada's so awesome. She's good at names and world building. Unfortunately, she's not good at being a human outside of writing books and should not be a public figure outside of writing books. She should be an author. That is what she does. She's really good at writing books, and she should just do that. I don't think she needs to be in the public eye as a person that people listen to. JK. Rowling. I only watched the first Fantastic Beasts. What even was the Grindelwald plot? I don't know. And they had such good actors to work with. I like, what's his name? The Irish guy. And I like Johnny Depp. I know Johnny Depp is like a contentious issue for whatever reason, but I don't know. I liked both of those guys. I forget what his name is. The second one was garbage. The second one. I haven't seen the second one yet, I don't think. I only saw the first one. She's otherwise a shit writer and needs to stay the F off the internet and stop breaking her own lore with recons. Yes, please, we don't need you to tell us Dumbledore was gay because you decided it after the fact. You can't just say someone's gay in your book to make yourself feel good. It's like, you write a romance story into him then, if you want him to be a full developed character. I don't know. I watched a video saying why Newt was very masculine, then I had a crush. Yeah, I watched a video that was explaining how he like he is against toxic masculinity, like he's masculine in a non-toxic way, and I was like, good. I already liked him. Too many threads and too much no homo going on. That's frustrating. Newt is so autistic and he makes me feel seen. Also, that actor plays a good autistic. Honestly, I think of a lot of movies that I used to consider like a guy in the movie a nerd or a dork, and now I rewatch them and I'm like, oh no, they weren't a nerd or a dork. They were an autistic person with a special interest. How many of your favorite characters were actually autistic? You know? Just saying. The favorite character in my life is autistic, so, you know. There's a housefly that's driving me absolutely insane. There is more Newt in Les Mis. Yeah, but Les Mis was like a lot. Les Mis was like a lot. Thank you. A lot. Oh my god, right? Yeah, and they would just say that they're like a little queer. He's just a bit queer in like old movies, and then you watch and you're like, I don't know, I think that he's just autistic. I don't think he's a little weird. I think he's just autistic. Good morning, Scrappy. Nice to see you this morning. Dawn, in real life, the actress had anorexia. JK said if she could stay recovered, she could play Luna. If she could stay recovered, she could play Luna. Oh, that's awful. I didn't know that about her. Well, I like her, so I hope that she's still recovered. Love Les Mis. Well, you guys go ahead and enjoy it. I don't know. I tried watching it multiple times. I think I've seen the whole thing, but I just feel super Anne Hathaway cringe. I don't know. I don't not like her. I just feel cringe. Laura, didn't I posted some things for you in Discord? I'm ready. It's loading. Notification. Aw, Frida, does anyone know what those are? Yes, my mom has those. I don't know what they're called. Can this housefly just not? Sorry. Okay. Last one, Laura. I didn't pull footage off my drone yet, but here's a taste of what I was talking about. Ooh. Fireworks. For those of you that don't know what I'm looking at, I'm in the Discord, which is a private chat room for us, and you can join if you would like. It is in my Discord, in my Patreon. Oh god, I seriously, the frickin' houseflies? How are they getting in? I'm not letting the door stay open that long.
Are you done with this?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anyway, beautiful. We did. Hold on. Also played the first trans woman in the true movie story, Lily. Yes, totally. In our voice chat, I told you guys how crazy it gets here. Yeah, totally. And it totally looks crazy. So what I'm looking at is Scrappy has posted videos of her 4th of July festivities in her neighborhood, and a lot of people have made a lot of explosions there. AJ, I was watching a show called Love, Shinobi, and Other Delusions. So much cringe you couldn't look away. So much cringe you couldn't look away. I don't know. I don't like feeling cringe when I watch things. And when I was watching Les Mis, I was just like... And every time Anne Hathaway sang, I was just like... She's just very skinny and very dirty, and I know that I bet I would love it as a play, you know? I would imagine that if I went and saw Les Mis as a play live, I would love it, but I didn't like it as a movie. But I mean, a lot of movies can't be translated, you know? You know what I want to watch? I haven't watched in a long time. The King and I. Have you guys ever seen that? It's like an old movie, probably in the 1890s, 1905. Like, I don't think it's that, like, the movie is obviously from more recent than that, but like the time period it's put in is like, I would say somewhere between 1890 and 1910. And I watched it a long time ago, and I can't remember. I know I liked it, but I can't remember the songs. And I know I liked the songs, and I know I liked the movie as a kid, so I want to watch it again. I like that movie. I loved Hathaway choking when she's saying it felt more real, but I hate Broadway. See, for me, that's what felt super cringe, was because, like, on Broadway, I can, like, suspend my disbelief because I'm in a play. But it was like, there was, like, literal, like, soot on her face, and I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I didn't like it. But that's just me. Yes, with Yul Brynner. Yul Brynner. I don't... Okay, maybe. It's teenagers being weird playing pretend. Oh, the movie you were talking about. Let me see. Yul Brynner. Is that the woman or the man? Ah, yes. Where's he from? He's USSR, later renounced United States of America. I didn't know that. He plays... Oh, he's Yuli Borisovich Brynner. Pronounced, Brynner. Yuli Borisovich Brynner. It's a common Swiss family name. What the heck? He was... Wasn't he playing the King of Siam? Yeah, he definitely played the King of Siam. He's like a for sure a white guy. That's super weird. I didn't know because I watched it as a child, so I assumed that it was... Wow. That's so funny. Oh, and he was in the original Westworld. The old Westworld. Cool. The King and I. Cool. I have to go now. Bye. Oh, bye, Maddie. Have a good rest of your day. The King and I. Yes, I didn't realize he was a white guy because I didn't ever see him after that movie as a child. Now I understand. But wow, he plays the King of Siam. Which isn't a kingdom anymore, right? Siam became... What did Siam turn into? No, don't open that. Open this. Siam now. He also played Ramses in the Ten Commandments. Oh God. Thailand. Thank you. Thailand. Perfect. So, interesting. Anyway, I think I'm going to watch that movie again soon because I feel like I haven't watched it in a long time, obviously, because I didn't even know anything about the show. He also played Ramses in the Ten Commandments, another movie I've seen. There's a lot of movies that I watched as a kid that I want to rewatch and be like, is there a remake of that? Of The King and I? There's one called The Prince and Me, which is the same concept, I think. But The King and I, basically, husband or king with a bunch of kids, white woman comes in to be a teacher to the kids, falls in love with the king. That's... How romantic. 2 days of yoga and my sugar belly is already getting tucked in and I already feel stronger. Right? The bloaty, it puts all the water back where it's supposed to sit. Oh, Anna and the King. There you go. The King and I have a live action and a cartoon. I'm talking about the live action, the old live action one. I should do yoga again. I'm on my phone and I literally, instead of typing, I'm over here saying Thailand like you can hear me. Thailand. Thank you. I was going to do yoga today. Maybe I'll do yoga today. Let me get my knitting because it's over there. Rue, Patreon. This is unrelated and I apologize, but where do you find the Discord on Patreon? Oh, Rue, apologies if you are already on the Patreon and the link it's posted in the, like, there's a, to be fair to Patreon, not to be fair to Patreon, to criticize Patreon, it's not a very, like, user-friendly app. I feel like there's a lot of improvement that could be had, but it's in the posts, but I will repost it again today for everybody who's new, who hasn't joined the Discord yet. For those of you that are people who support other people on Patreon, join my Patreon. It's $2 a month. You get access to all my bullet journal spreads, and you get access to the Discord, and I will post the link today. Also, I wrote a recipe with instructions for mulberry sorbet, and that's going to be this week. That's going up on the Patreon this week. Another one that's going to go up is how to make an egg caddy. Alex is making one for me. So yeah. So my new book is by Rowena Corey Daniels, and she's such a good writer. Rowena Corey Daniels. What's your book about? Or what's it called? I'm not bloated. My diet is shit and I haven't been moving at all. Oh, okay. Well, same, but I just say bloated. Even though bloat feels very different, like when you have a bloated tummy, you know, like it feels like you're gassy, but you're not ready yet. Like it's not there yet. It just doesn't, it's not good. But like that, your sugar belly, that's a good way to put it too. It's like my water belly. It's like if I do exercise or take care of myself for like a couple of days, it shrinks. So it's not like fat. It's like separate from my fat. Like I do have my general body fat, but like there's another thing. There's like the quick fix, tummy, bloated tummy, and then fat. There's like 3 levels of what my body size is. Eat healthy for 2 days and I look different than how I look if I eat crap, which I usually would say that I do. Although I've been eating pretty healthy because we have a garden full of food. Full of zucchinis and yellow zucchinis. That was Oliver talking over my keyboard. Oh, walking over my keyboard. Oliver, he says, yeah. Is your cat Ariana Grande? Yeah. That's called pooping. Frida, no, there's like 3. There's bloat, where it's like it hurts, like it doesn't feel pleasant, and you wouldn't want to wear tight clothes because it doesn't feel good. And then there's like, I'm unhealthy, and if I eat healthy for a couple of days, my tummy will shrink. And also, there's like just like the size I am. Oh gosh. I know what I mean. Let me grab my shawl. Gotta know what it's like. Baby, show me what it's like. I ain't really got no type. Yeah. That song. Stuck in my head. Okay. Here's where we are with the shawl. Do you think it'll be long enough to cast off now? End to end? To be a little wraparound shawl? Do you think I should do one more row before I start casting off? The more I get stuff moving, the less tummy I have, but maybe it's just me. True. The more consistent movement. Sid, unfair, vegan marshmallows are so expensive. Mine is fat gain at this point. I was living off marshmallows and canned soup for 2 weeks. Depression diet? I think so. Canned soup or even less is ramen. Just boiled water. I'll make a cup of tea and ramen. Gosh. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing at you. Please know this. My laughing is... I'm laughing with you. Yep, you nailed it, Laura. Okay, good. Thought so. Love me some depression diet. If only I could go the other way. Couldn't I just be like depressed eating really healthy? Couldn't that be a thing? Wouldn't that be nice if like when you were depressed your body was like, all I want is vegetables. I just want to eat healthy. Why is it gotta be like, I just want McDonald's? Not helpful. Rebecca, absolutely. Rebecca, we ordered pizza last night because it's crazy busy here with tourists, and I did plan shopping before the holiday. I need more veggies in my diet. Does the spinach on my pizza count? Absolutely. Yeah, for sure it does. Although, what I do now when we get pizza, when I get like a frozen pizza, I just add things on top of it. Especially with us having the garden now full, it's like easier to just like cut up some kale and put it on. I'm having to relearn how to chill because I want to fix everyone's problems and it's bugging me out and making me existentially depressed. When I got to that point, I started therapy and antidepressants, Sid. Not saying that that's necessarily what you need, but if you have access to a counselor or a therapist, I would highly recommend it. Because even just having the weekly meeting with a stranger can help, like, not dissociate, help compartmentalize those things. That was hella anxious. A salad. I buy small pizzas and eat them with my salad. That's a good idea. I buy large pizzas and eat them. And then if I'm not full, then I might have a salad. Alan Rickman, Snape. Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman, also Dr. Mesmer. Right? That's what we determined last week. Alan Rickman, Dr. Mesmer. What was so funny is after the stream on Friday, I went and saw my grandpa with my older sister because she's in town, or she was in town. And when we saw her, somebody called while we were there and said, like, how are you doing? And he said, day by day, I'm getting better and better in every way. Do you know who said that? And I blurted out, Dr. Mesmer. And then I was like, Alan Rickman. And then he didn't hear me, obviously. He was on the phone. It was Dr. Mesmer and Alan Rickman, and I was right. Yep, he's my fave of all time. Also, Sid, I'm already doing those things. Good. Thank you for taking care of yourself responsibly. You matter and you're important. And all of you guys, take care of yourselves. Go to therapy. It's like not that big of a deal. Even if it feels awkward at first, just do it. It's like so useful. Even if you're like, how is talking to a stranger about my problems useful? Do it. Try. Tell me I'm wrong once you've done it. Once you've gone to therapy 4 times, come back and tell me I'm wrong. Awesome person. He was in the Die Hard franchise. Was he really? Alan Rickman? Wasn't he the evil judge in Sweeney Todd? Why, yes. Yes, he was. He's been in everything forever. Since time started. Oh, Alex and I watched we watched Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. We watched that with Steve Martin. Steve Martin has always been an old man. When did Steve Martin turn 50? In 1950? He's been 50 since 1985, honestly. He just hasn't aged since he's just been 50 the whole time. I just saw an advertisement on Instagram for a show that he's doing with Selena Gomez, and he looks the same. He's in the first one as, oh, great. Lovely. But, yeah, Steve Martin's been 50 since 1985. Truly. I've got, like, hiccup salmon burps. I'm telling you, these salmon burps are not for me. Frida, I'm getting the kelp. Oh yeah, the sheriff. The sheriff. But, have you seen the movie Trains, Planes, and Automobiles? It's very 1980s. Like, when you watch it, you're like, none of this would happen in real life and no one would behave that way. But the 80s didn't care. It's like Home Alone. You watch it suspending disbelief, you know? You go in and you're like, none of this would happen. There's neighbors. None of this would happen. But okay. Right? Playing against Goldie Hawn. Still 50. Still 50. Goldie Hawn's starting to look a little older now because she stopped doing as much work to maintain her face. So her face is finally starting to age like properly. No offense, Goldie Hawn. I'm glad that she and her partner have had a happy relationship, but she did a lot to her face, and she also stayed out in the sun an awful lot. The 80s didn't care, so true. They didn't care about trying to make it look like it was something that would happen. So cheesy. What's weird is that the movies now seem to not really aim into cheesy. I wonder if that will come back. Like hella cheesy movies, like every movie in the 80s. I loved him in the remake of Father of the Bride. Still 50 years old, Dawn, in Father of the Bride. 50 years old in Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. I thought it was Steve Martin in Airplane, and then I realized it was just another older white man with white hair, but I don't remember what that comedian guy's name is. You know Airplane's the one where he goes, something, 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 and don't call me Shirley. Surely you don't mean blah, blah, blah. I do, and don't call me Shirley. Goldie Hawn is 75. Goldie Hawn is, I don't even know, a queen. Her and her husband her and Kurt Russell have been together for like 40 years or something. Like they're just, and what's her name? The beautiful sun-kissed California girl. You know who I'm talking about. Goldie Hawn's daughter, who looks like Goldie Hawn's daughter. You see her and you're like, wow. If Goldie Hawn hadn't gotten any work done, I think that not that it's up to me, and my judgment doesn't matter. If Goldie Hawn is happy in her body, I'm very happy for her. But Goldie Hawn, if she hadn't gotten any work done, I think she would be, in my opinion, very beautiful. And Kate Hudson, that's who it is. Kate Hudson is like my way of knowing that, because as she ages, Kate Hudson's got to be like 40 now, and she looks just stunning, absolutely stunning. Laura, Millicent's named after something like that. I'm an innocent bystander, haha. He is named Millicent, so Millicent bystander. I'm an innocent bystander, haha. He is named Millicent. What? I'm confused. I know that Millicent is named after something like that. Oh, I get it. I'm an innocent bystander. He's named Millicent. Got it. Like, don't call me Shirley. Goldie Hawn was an actress in the 60s. Goldie Hawn is still an actress. Goldie Hawn is a timeless actress. Oh, in the Ex-Wives Club, or First Wives Club, sorry. The First Wives Club, so fun. Overboard. Oh, yeah. In Overboard. Mm-hmm. Leslie Nelson. Who's Leslie Nelson? Oh, that's who it is in Airplanes. Thank you. Leslie Nelson. It's a line from the movie Flushed Away, which apparently only I watched. Hey, that means you have a unique dog name, so well done. I've never heard of a dog named Millicent before. I have heard the name Millicent before, but it was like old lady name in a movie. You know, like Mildred, people that's like just generic old lady name. If your name's Mildred and you're not old, that's totally okay. But Millicent was the same sort of way. Minerva McGonagall. Millicent McGonagall. I like the movie Overboard. That's where she has amnesia and where they fell in love in real life, right? Her and Kurt Russell. Okay, I've done one more row. I don't know if I have enough. What do you think? Do I have enough to do 2 more rows and then cast off? I'm just nervous about it. I feel like I can do 2 more rows and then cast off. I think it's going to be just fine. If it's not, I'm going to have your help in order to close it. Would be fun if someone got it. People think I named her after Maleficent. Fair. Because it's close. I thought you were saying Maleficent. Maleficent. Miss Elephant. Miss Elephant. Yep. Did anyone watch Cruella de Vil? Is it worth watching? I haven't seen it. The new one with Emma Stone. I don't know why they really need to... Can you just come up with some new ideas, people? We don't need a villain backstory on everyone. Maleficent was such a good villain in the movie, the first movie, like the actual Sleeping Beauty movie. So scary. So have you ever seen The Polar Bear Prince? Did anyone ever watch that, or was that just a me thing? My family and I, that was like one of our like VHSs, so it was like a commonly watched movie in my home. And I remember the villain woman witch in The Polar Bear Prince was like Maleficent, and both of them were great. They were both scary villains. We didn't need to know the backstory. Maleficent was really scary and evil, and then you put freaking the most beautiful woman in the world in the role, and it's like, okay, obviously we're gonna humanize her if she's Angelina Jolie, but that's not the point. She's supposed to be evil. Oh, some old names for girls. Edith, Verity. Ooh, Verity. Does that mean like truth? Like Veritas? Would that be like what you'd name your daughter if you were trying to name her like the truth? My friend said it was good. I'm not sure if I want to see it though. That's kind of how I feel about it. I've had people tell me it was good, but I'm kind of like, okay. But I've also heard that it like rewrites Cruella as a, like, it's not a prequel, it's a reimagining. So she just learned roll. Really? Oh, that's awesome. That's so fun. Thunder sometimes forgets roll. He remembers bang, which is like when he pretends to be shot, but he seems to often forget roll. I need to have a food for him to remember it. I saw it endlessly teased on the internet. Yeah? I don't know. I feel like, I don't know what I feel like. I don't know if I want to watch it. Eventually, I'm sure I will, just because there will be a dry spell of new movies at some point, you know? Bertha, Buella, and Betty. I like Betty because it's like Elizabeth, so she can be Elizabeth, Beth, Betty, Liz, Lizzie, Eliza, Lizbeth, Lilybeth. Elizabeth is a good name. It has a lot of nickname possibilities. You could be any style of person you want. She could do a lot of service dog tricks. Ola is teaching her some fun dog tricks too. That's good. Fun dog tricks are fun. Thunder gets he's very engaged when he's doing tricks. He really likes doing tricks. Like, Thunder doesn't like to exercise. He doesn't want to walk for very long. He doesn't want to run for very long, but he can do tricks for a long time. And that's how we exercise him, is doing his tricks excitedly and walking around the backyard while doing his tricks. It works for us. All right, so after this row, I'm going to be doing one more row straight across, and then we are going to bind off. So don't leave, because I need your help to bind off, probably. Millicent loves it too. She gets lots of praise and treats. Yeah, I think it's like good for their little doggy brains to do tricks. Especially if they're not exercisey dogs. Like, you're supposed to have your dog tired, right? A tired dog is a happy dog. But it's hard to tire Thunder out because he's not gonna keep exercising if he doesn't want to. Whereas tricks, he'll do tricks until he's very tired. I guess I would watch it at home, but I'm not sure I want it to be my first movie to watch in a theater after. No, yeah, I'm not gonna do it in a theater. No, I'm not going to a theater to watch Cruella. If they could just re-release Mad Max for opening up after the pandemic, I'd be super down. Could they re-release a bunch of cinematic movies? Like, wouldn't it be fun if they, like, re-released Titanic and Avatar and Mad Max and Star Wars? Wouldn't that be fun if they just did a re-release of all of the biggest, best blockbuster movies that are meant to be seen on the big screen? That'd be fun. That'd be a good marketing ploy. Brain stimulation exercise is good for dogs too. Gets them tired as well. Well, that's the only way that I can tire Thunder out, is tiring out his brain. Because when his body gets tired, he's like, oh, I'm done. He'll, like, leave and go sit down. Like, if we're outside, he'll go away and sit by the door. And it'll be like, come on, Thunder, we're having a good time. And he'll be like, no thanks. I'd rather just stay here, rolled up like a little donut. I relate to Thunder. Yeah, but, like, when I take him outside, he just wants to lie in a hot, sunny spot. So usually I'll be gardening and he's just sleeping. But he's happy, so he gets his brain exercised. If he will not exercise his body. I think my absolute favorite annual flower is yellow snapdragons. Yes, I'm still looking at seeds. I ordered a seed catalog from Baker Creek. So I paid $10 to have a seed catalog shipped to me, and it's not even getting shipped until November. And I'm ready to buy seeds also, Frida. I think that next year I'm already, like, planning the garden for next year and, like, watching people on YouTube for how they do certain things to see if it's worth it for me to try different methods, like raised beds or something. Millicent does the 3-second sprint around the house. Oh yes, also known as the zoomies. Those are known as the zoomies. The sprint around the house, often after a bath, the zoomies can be experienced. The zoomies may also occur upon arrival home. Candace, drive-in had E.T. playing. Oh, really? That's cool. Alex and I were talking about going to the drive-in a couple of days ago. We should. He bought a radio so that we don't have to use our car battery, which was, like, something that I was not a fan of because it made me nervous that we wouldn't be able to leave. But my home, like, iPod radio doesn't use batteries. It wouldn't work with batteries. Even when we put batteries in, it just stopped. She is not let outside after a bath. But yes, zoomies after a bath. Yes, no, not outside. Zoomies in the house. And rubbing their face on the couch and rubbing their head on the ground. And I'm like, dude, I dried your ears. I know your ears are dry. I Q-tipped them. Your ears are very clean and very dry. And yet... Also, Thunder gets the zoomies and acts like he's wet, shaking and all that, even though I blow dry him. Thunder is a dog that gets blow dried when he gets a bath because he's very little and he gets cold easily. She's not let outside. Oh, good idea. No dig is working great for us. Yeah? Well, I don't know. Like, I'm not ready for no dig yet because we have a lot of bindweed and we have a lot of clay. So I still want to do rototilling next year. But I want to make it so that it's less work the following year, basically. My son used to cry every time ET flew home. Oh, kids. Kids are so sweet, and then they turn into monsters. I mean, obviously, they're also humans, so they're going to turn into grown-ups and whatever, but still. No drive-in date been had yet. Season has just begun. True. We have a drive-in pretty close to where we live, which is convenient. Okay, I'm doing my last row before binding off now. I hope. I think. So don't leave yet, because I need to bind off. Millicent doesn't like the blow dryer, so I just do the bare minimum. Absolutely not the face. Oh, Thunder is totally okay and falls asleep while being blow dried. He very much likes to be very warm, and he doesn't like being wet and chilly, so the blow dryer is the way to avoid that. I have to water some of the garden before the sun hits everything. I might not bind off today. I might bind off on Wednesday. I might just finish this row today. Hey there, Aditi. Black t-shirt wearing, you are looking... How are you? Black t-shirt wearing, you are looking very beautiful. Thank you. My black t-shirt is a hand-me-down from my sister that is over 10 years old. But I won't throw it out because it's very comfy because it's stretchy fabric that's been washed a million times. But thank you, I also like it. What's the cape looking thing behind you, Laura? It's the bottom of my wedding dress, Scrappy. It is the skirt portion of my wedding dress. I am making it, and the wedding dress that I got from the thrift store, I took it apart, found a big yellow stain, probably pee, because it's a big yellow stain on the floor. Not my floor, like on the dress, like as if the dress was hanging somewhere and something peed on it. But it's old, and I didn't know it because it was all covered by the layers. But anyway, when I pulled apart the dress, I could see in the layers there's a big stain. So I I cut the dress into its pattern pieces, ironed them all out, like I seam ripped the whole dress apart, ironed out all the pieces, and then cut out the pieces out of different fabric because it was stained. I'm still using the actual bodice. I haven't seen what the thrift store dress looked like. Oh, well, there is no thrift store dress anymore, unfortunately. The thrift store dress is now in pieces. It is still being used as my wedding dress. It's just not, it's not currently put together. It is now all in separate pieces. Freeney is another good name. Oh, that is a cute name, Freeney. Hello, Freeney. So it doesn't look like anything anymore. I'm using the bodice as it is. Like, I'm not going to recut out the bodice. I like the shape and color that the original dress was. But the skirt was stained, so I recut out the underskirt. Go back a couple of lives, Scrappy. She put it on in one. Yes, I did. But also, I am using the overskirt as well, the tulle or whatever. It's not tulle, but it feels like it's like netting. I think it's called like bridal netting. Apparently there's drive-in movies in Sweden, at least temporary ones. That's cool. We have them permanently here. I don't know that, I think they close for part of the winter, but I don't think they close until like October, like when the snow is hitting the floor. I think that's when they close. The last movie I saw was Tenet. Sorry, I had to think about what the word was. The last movie I saw was Tenet, and that was in a drive-in. Alex and I saw it. But yeah, the dress is now fully disassembled. I have cut out the pattern pieces in the fabric that I purchased, and I've reassembled the skirt in the new fabric. I have not reassembled the top yet. I wish we had a drive-in close. Yeah, I wish everybody had a drive-in close. It's nice. They're fun. It's good vibes. Except for when people are like drinking and smoking pot and you're like, but you drove here. I know you drove here because we all drove here. I don't like that. It really stresses me out when people drink and do drugs and then drive. I am honestly nervous about our wedding for that reason, because it's going to be a private party and then people are going to leave. How do I keep everyone safe? I don't want anybody to come, drink, and then drive away. So what my little sister and I were talking about doing is making some signage with like the phone number for the cab and like, please don't drink and drive. Like that's something that's going to cause me a lot of anxiety leading up to our wedding, because it's like not like it's our responsibility to make sure that nobody goes home unsafe. But I know people are driving to our home because we live out in the country, and how do you get anywhere? People drive. So I'm hoping people will take Ubers and cabs and stuff, but if not, I'm going to have to, I haven't figured out how I'm going to solve the problem yet, but the signage is going to be the first thing so that people don't. I also, my little sister is going to do an announcement. We were talking about like who will be the MC for the wedding. Just like an MC is like, you know, just to like keep things moving and organized. You can do a non-alcoholic wedding. No, you can't. No, you can't. It's a wedding, Candace.
No, you can't.
And Alex says no, you can't also. But I do want everyone to be safe. Our baseball stadium is showing Pineapple Express Saturday. I would go, but it's so hot. That's funny. Pineapple Express at the baseball theater. Ew, non-alcoholic wedding. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm not a drinker. I'm still gonna be drinking at my wedding. Like, it's a big party. It's not a big party because there's not a lot of people, but it's a big party because it matters. So no, I'm not gonna do a non-alcoholic wedding, but I do want to do something that's safe. So I'm gonna do signage. My little sister said that either she or whoever the MC is will do an announcement at the beginning of the party time and at the end of the party time explaining that people will not be allowed to, like, drive home drunk. That's basically it. If you're drinking and you drove here, give us your keys. Are you drinking tonight? Did you drive here? You're taking a cab home and you'll have to come pick up your car tomorrow. I am not risking any of the people that I love getting hurt or hurting someone else, or even just being an idiot, having nothing bad happen to them, and then having it solidify in their mind that it's safe to drive the way they did. If you are smoking pot, if you are drinking alcohol, you will not be leaving my house in your own vehicle. You will be leaving my house being driven by someone who's sober or by a cab who hopefully is also sober. Mine will be non-alcoholic. I grew up with alcoholics and I can't stand it. Yeah, that's totally understandable. I, on the other hand, grew up not with alcoholics nor with anyone who drank excessively. Like, my parents were not ever drinkers. I don't think that I've seen my dad drink more than 6 beers in my whole life. So for me, alcohol is a party thing. It's not a problem thing. It's a party thing. So I understand if alcohol has been a problem thing, that's totally different. I totally get that. Like, I'm trying to think of like a thing that is bad nope, I got nothing. I understand. Totally. It makes sense. If it's part of the way that things have gone for you is different. Totally. Just the way that I've got. Give them drink tokens so no one gets too much alcohol. There's not going to be that many people, Dawn. There's only going to be like 20 to 30 people. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a rager for the 20 people that are there. Also, people can stay over. They can camp over. Maybe we could set up a tent in the back of our yard or something for people to sleep if they need to crash. It will be hot and dry. I grew up in a Hispanic family. Alcohol is just part of every event. I grew up in a not Hispanic family. Alcohol was never a thing except at like Christmas, and people would have a glass of wine. Alcohol was just not, it just didn't matter. It wasn't important. Like, either way, it wasn't important. Sure, 7 seed packs in the middle of summer. I'm allowed, right? I mean, yeah. Right? Okay, so I gotta open Discord so I can see this cast off method that we've got in the Discord. I think it was Laura who wrote it down. Baby, show me what it's like. Okay. Cast off 2 stitches using a knitted cast on. A knitted cast on? Okay, we're gonna need help here for a minute, and by we I mean me. I'm reading Missy, which is Laura. I'm reading other Laura's Pico bind off. So it says CO 2 stitches using a knitted cast on. So like knit 2 stitches, is that what that means? BO 9 stitches, what does that mean? Move the stitch remaining on your right needle back to your left needle. Repeat from until you have bound off all the stitches in your row. So cast off 2 stitches using a knitted cast on. I don't know what a knitted cast on is. I think that's just knit 2 stitches though, isn't it? What's BO? 9 stitches. I'm gonna copy paste it and see if you guys can explain it to me separately. Cool? Here. Command V. There. This is what Missy Laura has written for us. Pico bind off. Cast on or cast off. Cast on stitches. Okay, cast on 2 stitches using a knitted cast on. I don't know how to cast on new stitches. A knitted cast on, huh? Why you gotta always make it so difficult, you guys? I'm just trying to... Why isn't this silo working? Why isn't knitting working? Okay. Cast on 2 stitches using a knitted cast on. What's a knitted cast on though? I know how to do this part. Cast on 1. Good. And then we're gonna do it again. Put you like this, you like that, and you like that. Okay, so now I've cast on 2 stitches. Okay, cast on 2 stitches using a knitted cast on. Bind off 9 stitches, moving the remaining stitches on your right needle back to your left needle. Okay, so I casted on 2 stitches. Now we're gonna bind off 9 stitches, which means knit, right? Like you knit 1 and then you pull it over, and then you knit 1 and then you pull it over, right? Yeah. Okay, I think I get it. Knit. So that was 2, 3. Okay, I think I'm getting it. I think I understand what we're doing now. Hold on. 3. 4. 5. 6. Oops. 7. Watch me struggle, you guys. On Glob, my instructional words are not working today. I started a new farm on Farm Sim. I'm trying to clean up my yard, but for some reason the silo I'm trying to put the piles of wheat into aren't filling. I'm sorry. I lost count because I read your message. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And 9. All right, hold on. Got my 9 stitches, and then what does it say? 9 stitches. Move the stitch remaining on your right needle back to your left needle. Stitch on my right needle. Okay, back onto my other needle. Okay, so now we've gotten to here. Okay, now we're gonna cast on 2 more stitches, right? Okay, I think we can do this. I think we got it. There's a video. Yeah, but like, I've got you guys. Who needs a video when I've got you guys, you know? There, and then we go over again. hold on. Again, then you go around, then you go like this. Okay, so now we've got 2 on there, and now we're gonna cast off 9 times. I think we can do this. I think between a million of us, we should be able to do it. The sweater collection. Mine doesn't look that way. The way that that looks, mine doesn't look like that. And then we're gonna do one of those. Hold on, Laura. Come on. Maybe mine looks like that. I don't think mine looks like that. Maybe mine will need me to be pulling it out, which sounds like a really scary thought for me, if I can be complete honest with you. I don't like the idea of having to undo my work because I don't know how to fix it. I see you got a dehydrator. I've had this dehydrator for over a year now. My mom handed it down to me. She got a new one and I got her old one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I screw something up? I just can't be sexual. Tricks for you. Yeah, I think I screwed it up. I think I'm only supposed to have one thing on the end. So I'm going to pull this out, and then with a lot of anxiety, I am going to try and put these things back onto this needle because I think I figured out where I made my mistake. Please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Okay, I think where I made the mistake is here it says cast on 2 stitches and then bind off 9 stitches. I think, does that include those first 2 stitches? Like, should I bind off the first one that I did? Because I wasn't doing that, and then I was left with 2 stitches on the end of my needle instead of 1, because it says just move the 1 stitch over. Maybe Scrappy's right. Maybe I do need to just watch a tutorial. But I learned to knit like this from you guys without a tutorial, you know? Sorry, I need to not look at you while I do this. Okay. There. All right, I'm calling it. Let's try and finish this on Wednesday. I'll watch the video before then. But the shawl is almost done, and it's so soft, and it's gonna be beautiful on the wedding, hopefully. All right, that's it for today, friends. I hope you had a good time. If you did, if you like hanging out in the mornings, thank you, Scrappy. I will check out that video. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and feed the chickens because I haven't fed them yet, and it's already 10:15, and they're probably ready to eat. So love you guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. Don't forget to like the video before you head out, please, if you wouldn't mind. And if you didn't like the video, then dislike it, because I'm not the boss of you. And if you like leaving comments on videos, leave a comment on this video. All right, I'm heading out. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not yet supporting me on Patreon and you would like to, the link is in the description below. And if you don't want to, then don't. Okay, love you.